Hello everyone, Gamertag here, and I know it's been a bit. It's been just over a month, and that's kind of not okay, but I also wanted to get this video out a couple weeks ago, and then some things happened. You'll see just a little bit later in the video, but we're finally getting into Generation 5 on this channel, as we attempt to go through Pokemon Black with just Mienfoo and Mienshao. Now, I'm just excited to have two Pokemon again, because we haven't had two Pokemon since we did the Fossil Run in Emerald a couple years ago, so this is great. And Mienfoo and Mienshao are two Pokemon that I, well, practically never use, and I usually consider them to be pretty forgotten about. Now, amazingly, the intro to this game is incredibly short, so I can play the best theme, Sky Arrow Bridge. Oh yeah, this is what happened 2 weeks ago. We had a leak from the neighbors upstairs, and then the ceiling fell apart. So we're going to take a look at our stats. We've got Mienfoo on the left, Mienshao on the right. Now, I didn't really show the level up moves, considering they're the same for both, just at different levels. So I end up getting a Docial-natured Mienfoo that we named Clay, and we get Regenerator, which is a great ability. We can't use it until we get our other Mienfoo, but once we get U-turn, that's just going to make it even better. Because every time we switch out with Regenerator, if we've taken damage, we're going to heal 1/3, at least I think it's 1/3, of our maximum HP. Which is amazing. I'm really excited to use this ability, and I'm glad that this is what we got, because we can actually use it now. So if you've never played Generation 5, essentially the game works like this. You have that guy over there, Ghetsis, that's like, hey, you all have to liberate your Pokemon. Pokemon bad, but Team Plasma good. This is what you need to do, and we're gonna show you why you shouldn't imprison them, because the only people that should be good enough to use them are Team Plasma, so we can dominate the world. Notice how all the other NPCs are like, should we do it? And then Cheren and I are just listening to it thinking he's silly. I mean, it's crazy because if you've played these games, and you also know of the sequel that you likely do, which is White 2 and Black 2, you'll know that Ghetsis is a certifiably insane madman. We'll encounter him a couple more times. Also, this game has a ton of rival fights in this game, so we're going to be getting into one of them. Now, I did miss the Bianca fight because it just kind of snuck up on me, so we're going to take out that frustration on Cheren in the trainer school. I was so upset that we missed recording the Bianca fight that we absolutely pummeled him senseless. Also, he totally led his strongest Pokemon. I'm not exactly sure why, because later in the game he doesn't do that. But it's early game, so whatever. The first gym fight was incredibly easy. Now, there are 3 gym leaders that you can possibly fight. It's all based on the starter you have, and they just pick the elemental monkey that is strong against whatever starter you pick. Well, they can't do that when we have a fighting type, because the monkeys are grass, water, and fire. Also, they were dumb enough to use bite on us, and we're a fighting type, so it was really easy. His gym leader license should definitely be revoked after that terrible play. Another fight against Cheren, and this one is not really any different from the first. His Oshawott still goes down pretty easily, and all he does is just use Tail Whip the entire time, so we don't even take any damage on Oshawott, and then Purloin comes out and just does nothing. It's amazing. Alright, so this is the first time we've seen N. He is a little bit smarter than Cheren because he actually, attacks us, but it's not a bad fight. But N is basically a child chosen by Ghetsis to try to lead Team Plasma into the realm of world domination. It's absolutely crazy that they picked a poor helpless child to help them. But again, it reverts back to the point when I said that Ghetsis is certifiably insane, because he is. What's also insane is the fact that we almost got taken out by a takedown. Lenora shouldn't be that bad though. Honestly, a couple more levels, we'll probably be fine. We just have to hope she doesn't use Retaliate. Okay, well, never mind, I guess one more level is perfectly fine. Not only did we end up eventually one-shotting the Watchog because we high-rolled. She never even attacked us once. All she had to do was use Retaliate, and we definitely would have went down considering we were at like -2 defense. Hey, I'll take it though. Fluke victories sometimes are good enough. Burgh, however, was one that I expected would be one of the more difficult fights. Now, it took me over a dozen tries, but we finally got a winning fight after we leveled up to level 29. Whirlipede can be problematic, but what ended up turning in our favor was when Levani came out. It Razor Leafs, does 27 damage, we eventually paralyze it with Force Palm, but then all he does is spam String Shot, instead of just knocking us out with the Razor Leaf that would have knocked us out. 2 fluke victories in a row? You know what? That's good enough for me. Besides, eventually we'll get a Mienshao, and it's probably going to carry us through most of this game anyway. Finally, showing Bianca as she leads a Herdier, which drops our attack 1 stage thanks to Intimidate. She takes out half our health with Takedown as we take her out. Then Muna comes out, hits Psybeam, brings us to only 8 health. Then she keeps spamming Super Potions, hoping that she can stay alive, which inevitably fails, and then we just one-shot Servine and the ensuing Panpour with a Force Palm, getting us a first try victory. Well, what if I told you there was another rival fight immediately after? There's like 9 or something of these in here, it's insane. So, Cheren in the desert is incredibly easy. Might have been the easiest rival fight we had in this entire game. Even Shubidua just gets destroyed by a Force Palm, Panseer gets destroyed by a Force Palm, and Lipard also gets destroyed by a Force Palm since it's super effective. We also have to fight N. Now normally this N fight can be a little bit more difficult because of his Sigilif, but we'll see how it goes. Sandile is a one-shot with Force Palm. Sigilif comes out, we hit return that you can thankfully buy at the mart, he hits Psybeam, sets up Tailwind, Darumaka misses its attack thanks to Hustle, Scraggy comes in, takes us to only 3 health with Brick Break, but then we take it out. Man, we almost lost for a second there. Alright, let's get the annoying Electric Gym out of the way. Now, I did have to level up some, because Emolga was outspeeding us and has Aerial Ace. This time, though, we get through both of the Emolga, don't get hit with static at all, and only get paralyzed on Zebstrika's Spark, as we just crit for a one-shot. Cool, well at least that fight's out of the way. That was one I wasn't looking forward to. At least the next gym fight's probably going to be easy, but before that we have another Cheren fight. Maybe there's like 6 of these and 4 of Bianca, I don't know. I could probably count them, but if anyone is actually counting these, let me know how many there were, but also add one because we missed the first Bianca fight. So just, if someone could help me out and count them, I would really appreciate it. Oh yeah, one more thing, don't forget to comment for the algorithm. He will thank you, and most importantly, I will thank you, because the YouTube algorithm loves comments. Time to get the ground gym out of the way. I'm excited for this one because we didn't even end up having any damage after it ended. Everything was a one-shot thanks to us using Meditate, and when Excadrill came out, all it did was use Hone Claws and get one shot. I love how this fight, normally when I play through, can be a disaster, and yet with a single Mienfoo, we just absolutely destroyed him. Another Bianca fight. Herdier is her first Pokemon yet again. I believe she leads this every single time, so our attack's going to be -1 all the time. But it's a pretty easy takedown. Masharna comes in, we hit return, she uses Psybeam, and then she keeps staying alive with Hyper Potions, which inevitably don't even help her. We're at 36 health, but we're going to be fine. We also learn U-Turn, which is not only going to be good for Psychic coverage, but as I mentioned earlier in the video, we'll be able to use this for a generator boost as well, which is definitely going to help. Panpour and Servine are both one-shots with Force Palm, getting us an easy win. Man, we haven't lost a rival fight yet. I'm sure it's coming, though. There's another end fight in Chargestone Cave, but thanks to him being very steel-heavy, this is the easiest end fight we will ever have. We fake out to break Sturdy on Boldor. Because Sturdy in Generation 5, you can't go from full health to 0. You'll always have 1 health. Best change they made in Generation 5, by the way. Because Sturdy before then was useless. Everything else on his team is a one-shot with Force Palm and Return, getting us an easy win. The Flying Gym, though, was one I dreaded. I dreaded this so much that she just gave me a pity win. How much of a pity win exactly? She didn't even attack. We fake out and return on Swiggity Swoobat. Unpheasant just uses Leer, and then Swanna that may have been able to one-shot us with Acrobatics just uses Aqua Ring and gives us an easy win. I mean, that's not the way I wanted to win, but I'll take it. At least we're that much closer to getting our last Pokemon. Which, it's the Ice Gym, so that makes it even better. Another Cheren fight. I think this is the 4th fight against him? Something like that. Something insane and crazy that's overkill. Anyway, we one-shot Unpheasant. Simisear comes out as we Drain Punch. And then we return. Shooby-Doo comes out as we Drain Punch. Then our Rocky Helmet chip damage takes him out after Revenge. And then Liepard comes out and gets one-shot by Drain Punch. Now, I know we had Acrobatics, but the fact that Rocky Helmet is probably going to be coming in handy for us, I feel like Mienshao is a much better Pokemon to teach Acrobatics to, especially considering that Mienfoo's not going to be as strong, so getting that chip damage is going to be useful. Ice Gym time, as we just destroyed his entire team with Drain Punch. Nothing even outsped us, nothing even survived. Cryogonal has Reflect, but we outsped it and we one-shot. That is exactly what I expected. With that out of the way, we can finally get our last Pokemon for our team at the Dragon Spiral Tower. What I didn't actually realize, by the way, is that the grass outside of the Dragon Spiral Tower actually counts as the Dragon Spiral Tower. So we could have just gotten it before Brycen. We were probably just going to destroy him with clay anyway. We name it Omi, which completes our theme of our 2 Pokemon. If you do know down below in the comment section, comment that down below. I'm sure someone is going to be looking for it in the comment section. You know, that might not have caught the theme. Probably happens all the time. So we're now at the point where N has somehow convinced a super strong legendary to join him in Ghetsis' cult. It's Team Plasma, I just feel like they act more like a cult. We end up going through Relic Castle, and then Ghetsis tells us that Alder, or us, the player, are going to have to inevitably have a fight with N to the death. Not exactly enjoyable, but yeah, that's basically how it works. And something tells me that Alder isn't going to win because we're the player. We have to be the ones to save the world, right? I mean, that's how these games work. It's inevitable. Alder's probably going to lose, which he will, and then it's going to be our turn. Can we really beat a Zekrom with a Mienfoo and a Mienshao? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to get to that point. But first, more Bianca fights. As in the last one. So she now is a Stoutland. Whoop-de-doo. We U-turn. Switch back to Clay to get rid of the Intimidate. She uses Retaliate, which isn't powered up because we didn't knock anything out. Then Masharna comes out as we U-turn to switch back to Omi. And then she just uses Lucky Chant to block crits, so we take her out with Acrobatics. Superior comes out. She uses Coil, we Acrobatics, hits Leaf Blade, we survive to take her out, and then Simipour comes out, so used to being Panpour, but we don't take it out as she takes us out with Scald, and then we simply just send in Clay to take her out with Fake Out. Amazingly enough, Fake Out's not usually a move to KO, but it worked perfectly here. I think we just have one more badge left. We don't have to fight Cheren yet, so let's get the last gym badge out of the way. So the last gym badge is Dragon Gym Leader Drayden. Fracture is a one-shot with Return. Drayden comes out, and this thing is annoying as hell, but it's okay. We Drain Punch, he hits Night Slash, uses a Hyper Potion, we Drain Punch, then we outspeed and we Drain Punch again, he survives, then Dragon Tails, sends out Clay, he Hyper Potions as for some reason we Fake Out, hit Return, and then we Drain Punch. We should have just Drain Punched twice and that would have worked. I guess it's fine. I also didn't realize he had another Hyper Potion. He Dragon Tails, sends in our Fly Slave, Comment the Tranquil, which, that reminds me, comment on the video if you're enjoying the video. And then we just switch back to Omi and take him out. Yeah, I totally forgot he had Dragon Tail, literally until he used it. So hey, at least we have all the badges now and we can finally get the last Cheren fight out of the way. So he leads Unpheasant, which is very unpheasant, because we take a really big Air Slash, which takes us to only 16 health left. Samurai Jack comes out, finishes us off with an Aqua Jet. We switch to Clay, hit Fake Out, then we return, he Aqua Tails, and then still finishes us off with an Aqua Jet. Well, we're close enough to evolving. We've got infinite rare candies since our EVs are maxed. Let's just evolve Omi into Mienshao, and we'll probably be fine. Besides, we're going to be hitting much harder and be a little bit better defensively. Not that much better. We only go up by like a base of 10 defensively, but I think we'll be fine. Oh yeah, we accidentally used another rare candy, but it's amazing how much stronger we are. Okay, let's try this again. So, as usual, we're going to be starting it off with Omi since it's stronger. We one-shot Unpheasant with Acrobatics. Samurai Jack comes out as we hit Return. He attacks us, and we still get taken out by the Aqua Jet. It's amazing how our defenses aren't even that much better. We use Fake Out to take him out. Next out is Liepard that doesn't use Fake Out, so we one-shot, fully healing us. Last out is Simisear as we go for Drain Punch as he just goes for Leer, getting us an easy win. I was really hoping he would attack to make it interesting, but I guess it's fine. Now that we've gotten all of the badges out of the way and finally done all the pesky rival fights, we can finally make our way through Victory Road. I'm not really sure what the plan is. I mean, there's a Dark Trainer and a Fighting Trainer in the Elite Four. I'm not worried about those. Those are going to be easy, and we could beat those in our sleep. What I am worried about is the Psychic Trainer, Ciatlin, and the Ghost Trainer, Shauntel. Probably more worried about Shauntel. So, if you remember our move pool that I showed earlier in the battle, the only dark move we get that we can use more than once is Payback. Payback is only good if you're getting outsped because it doubles to 100 power, and we outspeed practically everything. So, I'm not sure what the plan is. Maybe we just do the Ghost Trainer first, because if we beat her, we'll probably be fine. We are going to take a look at our stats though. So as you can see, despite having a naive nature, we ended up training against a ton of Gothita, using the Macho Brace to help even out our defenses, which I felt was actually a better call. Now, I could have just beefed up our attack more if I wanted to, but I felt that having evened out defenses would be better, especially considering Clay is built very similarly. Now, I don't really want to change much in the move pools, and while I do have Aerial Ace in my back pocket, I kind of feel like just brute forcing Shauntel with Mienshao is essentially better. I'm not sure if it is actually better overall, but I just feel like then we don't have to have too much stress on us, and at least we can use Mienshao to attempt to brute force. Let's see how this goes. So she leads Coffagrigus, we Acrobatics, she gets rid of our ability with Mummy, does half with Psychic, and when I saw how much she did, I realized we were in deep, deep trouble. To make it even worse, Someone thought that switching to Mienfoo was a good idea, so Clay got absolutely bodied by a single psychic. Okay, well, we ended up leveling up all the way to level 71 and finally got the win. Now, I did not level up Mienfoo at this point because considering that I didn't want to touch its move pool, meaning I didn't want to have to teach Aerial Ace, I mean, thinking about it, I could have just gotten rid of Return and just retaught it. But the problem with TMs in this game is that if you actually replace a move and you don't have full power points, it won't fully heal your power points. But at least the fight's out of the way. I do wish I would have just taught Aerial Ace to Mienfoo, but we're just going to rare candy it up and take out that frustration on Grimmsely. And we basically destroyed him with just this. We fake out, Drain Punch one-shots Scrafty, Liepard comes out, hits Fake Out, takes Rocky Helmet damage, and then we one-shot. Bisharp is also a one-shot with Drain Punch. Crocodile we U-turn to get rid of the Intimidate. And then we just switch to Clay, or to Omi, and then we just destroy him. Honestly, I feel like we didn't need to level up Clay as much as we did. But at least it's gonna help with fights like Ciatlin. Reuniclus is out first, we fake out, and then we just one-shot with U-turn. Now, I'm pretty sure if we were only level like 65, she might have lived. But considering how high leveled Omi was, I don't think it would have even made that much of a difference. Especially considering we can literally just pivot U-turn cheese for the entire battle outside of Sigilith. And also Gothitelle, who didn't even attack. Gothitelle came out, and then she accepted the loss and just went for Calm Mind. I mean, I was hoping she'd at least make it interesting. I really wanted to know if we would survive a Psychic. Last up is fighting Trainer Marshall. He leads a throw as we lead it off with Clay. We hit return, he drops our speed with Bulldoze, and then we take him out. Conkeldurr is out next as we do half with Drain Punch, as his Hammer Arm gives him Rocky Helmet damage, knocking him into full restore range. We use 2 Drain Punches, and then we finish him off. Next up is Mienshao, who outspeeds us and hits Jump Kick for huge damage. Salt comes out, and outspeeds us and finishes us off with Karate Chop, but thanks to the Rocky Helmet damage, Sturdy is now broken, and now we can just finish him off with Omi, and now we can have our death match with N. Alright, let's see how this goes. So, one of the biggest issues I had with this game is that Reshiram is automatically thrust at the front of your party. Which is annoying because we can't just sack it off anywhere. Because we actually had to switch. Thankfully, when we U-turned with Clay and Omi came in, he was hitting Zen Headbutt, which likely would have finished off Clay. So Zekrom gets taken out. Kling Clang is a one-shot with Drain Punch. Vanillux is also a one-shot with Drain Punch. Zorark, not in its disguise because we took out what it was disguised as, is a one-shot with U-turn because I wanted to let Clay get back in on the action. Next up is Archeops. We fake out, then we hit Drain Punch, and thanks to Defeatist being a terrible ability, his Acrobatics doesn't one-shot. We Drain Punch on Caracosta, as the Rocky Helmet damage after Waterfall finishes him off, getting us the win. But then we immediately have to fight Ghetsis. I think if you lose, you can just go right back to Ghetsis, but thankfully, he leads a Cophagrigus, which actually works out because we can just keep spamming Slash on Reshiram and just let it go down. It's upsetting because it wastes time, but here we are. Amazingly enough, once we send in Omi, we hit Acrobatics, and Toxic thankfully misses. We might have lost if it hit. But I guess not. Bouffalant is out next as Drain Punch one-shots. Next up is Hydreigon, who's also a one-shot with Drain Punch. That's 3 down. Electros comes out as we U-turn, send in Clay, and then apparently find out that Electros can know Acrobatics. Thankfully, we survive as we take him out. Seismitoad comes out as we Drain Punch. He hits Earthquake as we finish him off. but his last Pokemon is Bisharp, which gets one shot by Drain Punch, getting us the win on our first attempt. And then N says goodbye. But hey, that was fun. I definitely think that we shouldn't have leveled up Clay as much as we did, and just maybe tried to use Aerial Ace, but the problem that we had is there's not really a lot of spots to find ethers outside of the dowsing machine, which I didn't want to deal with, but you also can't get any Lepa Berries until post-game. So even if we would have done that, I wouldn't have been able to heal any power points. But our next challenge is going to be Pokemon Emerald with just unavoidable moves, which is going to be a fun challenge. Leave suggestions down below in the comment section, and don't forget to like and subscribe and comment for the algorithm to try to get this out there. I just want to say thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.